Let's get it, YouTube. I am late today because I had a late night last night, but I had to jump on here real quick to say good morning, like, comment, share, subscribe. Appreciate all the people who stopped by the channel. Uh, please give it a like, uh, please share, and please comment. I think some of the topics that I talk about are very important to us as a society, us as a culture. Uh, so comment and share the post. Okay, so now today is I'm talking about a life lesson that I learned when I was really young. If you've been following along, you will know that I was a state ward uh, when I was coming up from being severely abused at home. So I left. And so now we're going to advance some years later, just not too many years, but a few years, and I was in a girls' home called Deefer, and it was on Deefer and Kercheval. It was around the corner from the 5th Precinct Police Station on St. Jean and Jefferson. So that gives the people who live in Detroit uh, an area, so they'll know what I'm talking about. So I was in there, and I mentioned before in my videos that I said when I was locked up that I wouldn't do anything right. So a lady named Helen, she used to always be saying, Val, woo, woo, woo. She talking and telling me the right thing to do. A beautiful, spirited person. I think she had a good friend named Margaret, or that was her cousin or sister. Loved both of them because they were some real people and they held you accountable. So one day I was trying to talk to her and she would not talk to me. And I was like, Helen, why won't you talk to me? She would not talk to me. I don't care what I did. If I did a handstand, if I flipped, I don't care what. I don't care what came out of my mouth. She was not going to pay me any attention. So she did this for like 2 weeks. Every day I would try to get her to talk to me, right? Because uh at that point I had missed her guidance, right? Because she wouldn't say, I'm talking about, would not say a word. But I'm sure if an emergency or something had come up, that she would have talked, right? But because nothing untoward happened, she didn't have to say anything because the staff is not required to speak to the resident, especially if the resident is not paying attention to what they say. So she ignored me. I'm talking about she ignored me. I would tell Margaret, I'd be like, Margaret, tell Helen to talk to me. And I don't think she'd be like, girl, I can tell her that, but she ain't gonna listen. And it was crazy because by the time that she did start talking to me, I asked her, I said, well, Helen, why did you ignore me? She said, well, why did you ignore me? And so I got quiet. She said, you don't listen to me, so why should I talk to you? And I said, well, I'm the resident. And she said, what, I'm a staff, but what does that have to do with it? If I respect you enough to listen to you, why can't you respect me enough to listen to me? I'm not telling you anything wrong. I'm just telling you things uh, that's going to help you in the future. So I said all that to say is sometimes when people are what we say tripping or whatever or out of pocket or whatever, just ignore them because they will uh, eventually come around, especially if you're saying something that's important for their life. So that was just a life lesson that I learned from Helen. Uh, I'm sure that I don't know if Helen is even around anymore, but I just want to say if any of her family sees this, Helen was a good woman. Margaret was an excellent woman also. Uh, you know, kind of taught me, was at the beginning of my being, uh, teaching us how to be a lady, teaching us how to be appreciative, teaching us how to carry ourselves. So yeah, so that she ignored me for 2 weeks. After that, I always paid attention to what she said, even if I didn't like it, because sometimes we don't like what people have to say, but we should take it in anyway. And I didn't ignore her again. We got along just fine. And, you know, after that, I moved on, but I learned that life lesson. If someone's trying to help you, be part of the process of helping yourself also, because that's all she was doing. After that, we laughed. She was like, you was getting on my nerves. I was like, you was getting on my nerves. And she said, but you learned that lesson, that I don't have to interact with you if I don't choose to. And I said, yeah, you got a point. And from then on, me and her, relationship was even stronger because of her realness. She didn't put up with my BS. But anyway, that's just a life lesson. YouTube, I appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hopefully, some things that I talk about will reach some people, and maybe it could help somebody. Really, it helps me to talk about the things that I went through as a child, as an adult, even right now. So I hope that it will find someone who says, hey, I've been through similar situations, or I'm in a similar situation. Let me pay attention to what's happening and to what they're saying, so that, hey, maybe I can walk down the right path. But that's it, YouTube. I'm out of here. I'm sleepy, actually. Bye.